El Salvador comes fifth in the list of poorest countries in North America. They have a GDP of $4,131 per capita. However, El Salvador has a group population that became wealthy by the country's coffee and sugar production. But still about 40% of the population falls below the poverty line. Recently, the country became the first country to legalize cryptocurrency, and the International Monetary Fund is not happy about it. Your Bitcoin is also a sort of secret money, and the government cannot track the transactions. Bitcoin is infamously used for illegal transactions on the dark web, and this anonymity can be a huge risk to world peace. Anyway, let's dig in a little deeper. Adopting Bitcoin as a legal tender might seem to be the next step in the world of finance. But what would this mean? Well, change is always hectic, and if not thought and assessed properly, it could cause turmoil. I mean, we're talking about a nation with 64 lakh people transitioning from paper money to digital money. Not to mention that most of the people are still inexperienced with the whole digitalization thing. Now for a quick recap, cryptocurrency is a form of value exchange where the currency is digitized and encrypted to ensure no fraud. The currency itself has no value whatsoever. It is in layman terms a vampire currency, by which I mean a digital blockchain where people invest fiat currency in it, diluting the circulation while the value of this paper money gets lower. Now this possesses a major issue. The lesser the value of the fiat, the more the inflation. Well, with the recent pandemic and global crisis, banks and treasuries are printing money like newspapers. But in this day and age, as more people are putting their money in bitcoins, after reading about miracle Bitcoin billionaires and young NFT millionaires, then let me tell you this. We all just notice the digits, but if you dig deeper, you will realize that there's more to it than what meets the eye. These Bitcoin millionaires have been holding it and marketing it for so long that it was bound to happen. I call Bitcoin the beggar's policy. So what happens is, imagine there's a beggar who gets $1 from everyone in an office with 500 staff. Now for the employee, $1 is nothing. Cigarettes cost more than that. But when the beggar gets $500 each day, from which he saves about maybe $300 a day, in a year he would have enough money to open up a shop or a small business. This is how Bitcoin has gained its value. And with every penny you take from the bank and put it in Dogecoin, the bank is facing loss. Whereas they file a request for new builds, hence an increase in inflation. Are you getting the point? Now some people are generous enough to pay more, and it's a good business model, so they invest money in it. Now more people investing in cryptocurrency means that cryptocurrency is getting scarce too, and so the value increases. So now the main reason why cryptocurrency was built was to promote decentralization, right? Now the government has no power over currency, but the ones holding the most amount of bitcoins now, hasn't the power shifted to them? Now MicroStrategy is a corporate company that holds more than half of the available bitcoins, which is about 121,000 bitcoins. If they were to sell it, all your investment will be a waste. So essentially the government, if it starts to accept bitcoins for payments, then these corporate companies holding the most amount of bitcoins will dominate the world. And these are marketing people, so I don't think they have democracy in their minds, but rather personal interests. Now let's take NFT. You see that gorilla token? It was about $300,000. When did a JPEG image get so valuable? At first glance, I thought maybe Picasso's reincarnation drew it, so I looked it up and then I realized that a guy from a freelance website drew it. Now these freelancers have to sign an NDA where you can't tell anyone you made it after the contest holder selects your art. Well, he must have been proud looking at it now. Now they run a Python script where it automatically generates thousands of copies with small variations here and there. That art is valued at the amount paid to the freelancer, but with the connections here and there to the NFT, creators start an NFT community. The higher the members, the higher the price. Did you see the beggar's policy here too? Now let's talk about fiat currency. It's similar too. How, do you ask? Okay, before money was backed by gold and precious metals, a country was only as rich as the value they had. Then came the fiat currency. All it is a paper signed by the government to guarantee the value. So it is legal, and you're 100% guaranteed. But on the other side, the community is not. I mean, let's take gold for example. It was $870 per ounce in the year 2009. January 2nd, and the fiat currency is not exchangeable with gold anymore, so you have to buy it. Now fast forward to the same year's December 31st, it went up to $1,100. Now there are two things here. Either gold became scarce and expensive, or money lost its value. In both ways, the value is lost. Now, even though $100 is guaranteed exchange of value, how much value depends upon the scarcity. Now take oil for example. Since oil is scarce in the European countries, the price has increased. This means that money is exchanging itself and not value itself. These currencies have no value. Even if they do, it is determined by something so vague. So now Bitcoin is very inflated asset on the most valuable currency at this time. In both scenarios, there's a question of value. The beggar's policy here is that the beggar is not providing value to the people, but still getting paid by $1, by 500 people. That is what Bitcoin basically is. Do you see how worthy is Bitcoin now? Well, at this point, no mode of value exchange is a surefire way to do a healthy transaction, but fiat currency is improving and getting upgraded. Recent unfortunate events have sabotaged this mode of transaction, but there is room for improvement and a minor tweak in taxes, and the public will not suffer inflation. Look at people getting $1 for a salary just to evade taxes while they make millions a year and don't pay taxes. This is sabotaging the whole nation. Taxes determine a good circulation of money and it promotes growth in the economy as an overall nation. This is the only issue we have with fiat. Sure, the government has powers and they could exercise it with currency, but the government changes every couple of years and are expected to promote democracy. With a $30 trillion debt, New York is suffering while the wealthy ones are evading taxes, ignoring the fact that this is leading to inflation causing their money to lose its value. Now keep all this in mind and think, if a country starts legalizing cryptocurrency, then A, the whole country has to adapt when they could have done something more productive. B, the value is dispersed, which means inflation will rise if the US dollar is divided between a $100 bill and a digital Dogecoin, then it's half the value as they're not essentially valuable. The value has to be divided between currencies. It's like a country having two currencies, and that will sabotage the value of both the currencies in question. Remember, Bitcoin's value is never increasing, but the fiat currency's value is going lower. How? Well, Bitcoin works on a global scale, while rupees or dollars or any other currency is limited to their boundary. This is a democracy. People want it, the leaders give you. But the smart ones look on all sides and know that what looks good right now is not always necessarily fruitful. I hope this video brought you deep insight into the value and how it will affect every country that has adopted crypto as a legal tender. So be a smart civilian and don't just always wait for a miracle to work for it. Create value. Don't just put your money in crypto and wait for the millions. Life is an experience. Don't waste it like that. And I would like to end this video on this note. This video is just a common man's perspective on what's happening these days. If you have any questions or suggestions, slap that in the comments section and we'll discuss more on the topic. Well, thank you so much for watching. Like the video, and if you think I had made sense, then subscribe. And if you'd like to keep up with our uploads, then strike the notification bell. And let's meet again in the next episode.